Very good morning. Today we'll discuss stock operation and some of the other concepts which is required with reference to methods. I will share the screen. See, normally stock operation you are studying in most of the programming languages and how the stock operation is performed. Before that, just I wanted to discuss few things. Why you are studying stack? Because always memory allocation takes place either through stack or heap. Heap means when you are operating with new operator, you are allocating the memory, then it is heap memory allocation. Anyway, our interest here is only on stack, and just I wanted to discuss few things on stack operation. The size of memory to be allocated is known to the compiler, and whenever a function is called, like method invocation you are doing means its variables gets the memory through stack. Okay, the memory allocated on the stack. How the stack operation takes place, like that the memory is allocated. And another important thing about this particular stack is this kind of memory allocation is also known as temporary memory allocation, because as soon as the method finishes its execution, all the data belongs to that method flushes out from the stack automatically. Means any value stored in the stack memory scheme is accessible as long as the method has not completed its execution and currently in running state. That means if stack operation means this is initial method and it stores its variables, and when that method calls another method, once again one more stack will be created. That means memory allocation takes place like this. Okay, so this particular operation with respect to stack, this is what takes place. And see the how the allocation takes place, one above another. And when the particular task is completed, this stack will return, and rest of that will remain there itself, and this one you will remove, rest these two will remain. Like that the operation takes place. So this is how the memory allocation takes place. Anyway, we are representing that in terms of numbers. See, first empty stack, and after that push operation, because stack means there are two operations we are discussing, that is push and pop. The word what normally used with respect to stack means push, because we are pushing the elements to the stack and we are extracting that particular process is called pop. Normally stack operation means first in last out, or you can call as last in first out. Stack operation means the element what you are pushing. See, one you are pushing, that will come on. Above that you are putting two, and above that three. Is it not? So the recent one is three. That is what which will come out first. That's what the operation. First in last out, or last in first out. Anything you can define. See, normally, how you are identifying stack is empty, you are representing the variable top is equal to -1, because nothing is here. When top equals 0, because you are tracing the particular stack with reference to array. That means it is having the location, and location will be 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. And when it is -1, nothing it is pointing. So you are defining empty. And once it becomes 0, we are with the location 0 where you will put 1. That means stack of 0 you are inserted number 1, and when it becomes 1, that is stack of 1, 2. Like that the process takes place. And once you are uh, filling the particular stack, then if you wanted to extract means you have to pointing the top one, and you are extracting that, and you are reducing this index, so that after this particular element is removed, this becomes 2, 1, like that the movement takes place, or at 0 the stack the last element. So this is how stack operation is performed. As I told, memory management, stack operation normally takes place when you are invoking the method. See, like if you specified that particular size of the stack, and once all the elements are filled, it tells that stack is full. And after that you are extracting one by one. At first you are extracting 40, then you are extracting 30, then 20, then 10. After that its index is pointing to -1 and nothing is in the stack. So these are the two conditions: either stack becomes full or stack is empty. These are the two conditions you have to handle when you are working with stack. So to write a program which acts like a stack means you have to remember few things. First, easily you have to remember is you are with two methods. One is push and another is pop. Is it not? Two methods are very much required because you are using these two operations. So when you are pushing the element means it has to take the parameter, some integer value. It has to consider any value. Okay? Some argument should be there which takes the value and which will insert into stack. Is it not? I'll write insert into stack. Next, pop. Pop means what? You are removing from the stack. Remove from stack. One is insert into the stack and another is remove from stack. These are the two operations. And each time you have to initialize one particular variable which will trace the stack, that is top, let us consider -1. Like that we will initialize. And we will define some stack. We'll consider array itself. If you are dealing with integer means you have to declare one integer type array that you call as stack is equal to new integer type allocation will do for 5 elements. See, stack array declaration, one index and two methods. This is how to write a code for stack working. So please remember, who are new to this stack operation, you have to remember one push and pop. This is user defined. Okay. Anyway, and to indicate that we are using stack operation, we are mentioning the same name, push and pop. And what is the return type? All these things we'll see through program. Okay. Always see. Please remember, being a Java reader, when you are representing that. Okay, don't worry if you forget some particular code and all. At least you write this: insert into stack, remove from the stack, some particular logic itself. So don't worry if you suddenly forget where to insert and all. At least that syntax. See, insert means what? You have to insert into the stack, is it not? So stack name you already know, stack, and index, that is top. Okay, for that if int a means that one you write, that's all. So that's all. Anyway, I'll show you easily how to write a program for this. Okay, now I'll take you to the screen where we are dealing with our stack operation through Java. I'll start new program itself because if you already forget where to open the class and all, go to the folder what is created and go to new. There you come to class. Okay, and you give the name. Okay, we'll name some st and finish. So class is created. Okay, now as I told, I'll create one more separate class. Okay, that is class, because only main I'll make it inside st. Okay, for all push and pop operation, I'll open new class. Okay, so class, you give some name, stack or something like that. Okay. And inside that, we'll declare one array, as I told first. To tell that it is a stack, okay, we'll create one array. Let us consider integer type itself. Any type you can create. STA, like that I will give the name. And as you know, single dimensional array and new allocation integer type will make the space for 5 elements. Okay, so this is what we declared. Now, you already studied constructor in the last class. Okay, now I'll make use of that. I'll write one constructor, stack default constructor. That one I'll write. And after that, two methods we have to write, is it not? So what are that? Push is user defined. Okay, I'll write that push, and first we'll see push method. Okay, it is showing error because what is the error? It is telling that return type, because you know that only for the constructor, no return type. But for the method, you have to specify return type. Let us consider void. I'll write void. See, now it's showing no error. Okay, now, okay, then as we know, anyway, let it be. Now what I'll do is, this is one class what I have created. Now I'll go to another class where I'll write public static void main. Inside this class itself, you can do this all particular methods. Okay, but anyway, I'm writing separately. That's all. It will not make any difference. Okay. Now, see, public static void main separately I written, and inside that I'll create one object of this type. Object of type what? Of type the class what I have created, that is stack. Is it not? Stack type object we will create. Normally I am having the habit of giving the name OB itself. You can give any variable name. Okay. See, I am creating object of type. Okay. Now, after that, what I will do is, I wanted to push the element into the stack. What I will do, ob dot push. What I'll give one number. See, this element I wanted to insert into the stack, like some particular operation which tells that one should be inserted into the stack. Okay, push. See, it is showing the error because push is default. I wanted to pass the value. I'll give int some number. See this? Now I run the method which takes the argument number. See, this number I wanted to insert into STA. So what I'll do, I wanted to insert into 0th location number. See, this is how this operation you have to do. Is it not? But I want this should be dynamic. Like you have observed, you just imagine how the stack, each time when you are inserting the element, it should grow. Is it not? For that, some variable is required. Is it not? We named that as top, and I initialized that to -1. Is it not? So what I'll do, I'll just declare this variable and constructor there I'll initialize. Here itself you can write, but this is normal. Like as you know, whenever object is created, this will invoke and it will initialize top equals -1. Now, see, now I am using top. The number I am inserting into the stack at the location top, but top is -1, is it not? I wanted to insert it from 0 onwards, is it not? So what I'll do, I'll put plus. That means before inserting, I'll make it plus. You know already, plus plus top means you are performing top equals top plus 1 first, and then you are assigning. So the number is inserted to 0th position. Okay, once again, I will call the method OB push with second element. See this, once again, this will insert. Like that, 5 elements you can insert. This is how push operation is performed. Now, I wanted to see the element what I have pushed. For that purpose, I'll invoke pop. I'll write pop method. Okay, pop method, which will not insert any. That means which will not accept any value, but it should return the value, is it not? And normally we are using integer, so it should return the integer. And what actually it should return? It should return what is at the top element. It should return, is it not? And after that, it should subtract, because how it is growing, when you are extracting the element from the stack, automatically it should decrement its index. See, when you are inserting the element, its index will go on incrementing. Like that, when you are extracting the element, its index should decrease. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Anyway, now I will uh, give one print statement to see whether the element what we inserted, that itself coming or not, or which one will appear first. ob.pop, ob.pop. See this? I think it's visible. See this? System.out.println ob.pop. First time I'm calling pop. See, please remember, 1 is inserted, 2 is inserted. Just I'm invoking pop method. Now just we'll see what is the output. See, output is 2, because as I told, last in first out, last element what I inserted is 2. That itself invoke first. Okay, so this is how this particular operation takes place. So always we are with the condition, because normally whenever you are operating with the stack, you are writing the condition, like how many elements you are inserting, that as I told, stack is full or stack is empty, that one you have to compare always. So how to do that? See, if the number of particular elements what you are passing, that is if top is equal to, because I made that 5 element, is it not? Now if it is 4, then I'll tell that it is already full. System dot out dot print ln will write stack is full. Else it will go on incrementing. First time -1, so 0th element, next first element, second element, third element, fourth element. Okay, so when top becomes 4, okay, see plus plus, that means it will insert at 4th element. When top becomes 4 for the 5th element, it is telling that it is full. Okay, like that, in the pop, what you have to do is, if our top is equal to less than 0, okay, because you know that negative indicates that it is underflow. That means stack is empty, no element to pop. That one you are specifying the flow, or you can like full or no element or empty, like that you can write. So it is irrespective of the language. This is what the logic. And as you know, see, if you write like this, please remember, as we return the particular type as int, is it not? Return type is int. So you have to specify that, because if it is top is less than 0, this is what it is telling. Otherwise, you are returning, is it not? Otherwise, you are returning the topmost element. But it is showing an error, because this particular condition is not returning anything. For that purpose, you just write one return That means if it is empty, you just return to the caller. Otherwise, you return the value. See the program. Just initially you have to declare the size of an array, declare one variable, you initialize that in the constructor, write push method which takes the argument and insert into the element. As I told, these are extra things. Okay, if program should be perfect means you have to verify the bounds. That's what like if I ask the question, what is an algorithm? What's an algorithm? You studied this in the first year, I think. What is flowchart? What is algorithm? Is it not? Algorithm means stepwise, which tells how to solve the task. Is it not? And even though that is what the definition, but always please remember, it is a when you are representing that stepwise statement, uh, three things you have to be clear. That is, you are writing unambiguous statement. That means when you are writing the algorithm, it should be perfect. It should not give two or three meaning. Okay, it should be clear. That's why it is named as unambiguous statement. Next, and legitimate input. It should work with legitimate input. That is what good algorithm means. Algorithm is a unambiguous statement for legitimate input in finite time. Okay, that is the third one. Finite time means what? Within that boundaries, it should work. So when you are writing algorithm for any particular task, you should always represent its bounds. Okay, so this is what bound, if more than that stack size element comes means how to handle, and if nothing is there to extract means how to handle. All these things you should know. Okay, so instead of pushing one by one element like this and popping like that, so what I'll do is I'll write one for loop. Okay, and this also you can do. Okay, you know, array size is 5. So call the particular method and go on pushing instead of writing like this. If you don't know anything means the previous one what I told. Okay, I don't know how to write for loop and all. I just wanted to show the operation of stack means what I told, that itself sufficient. You write one push and one pop operation and write the method how to extract that. See, like that, I have to insert the element one by one, is it not? Once again, same variable you can use as it is out of that scope, is it not? I plus plus. See, elements are inserted and you are extracting that. Now I'll execute the program. You'll see how the operation, see how the element is inserted. First 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. When you extracted that, you are getting in reverse order 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So this is what first in last out or last in first out. This is how to represent stack operation. Okay, sometimes you may get this question because as it is in the book, you may get the chance write the stack program, because one more information just I wanted to tell. See, in Java is a collection of package. In Java, directly you will get stack class. Okay, user defined operation you can write. Okay, but apart from that, Java is also having one particular collection class which deals with this. You can invoke a push method and pop method, and you can insert the element and you can extract the element. But manually how to write, this is what the example. But I'll conclude this program with one particular condition. That is, even though you have written this particular stack which stores the element and all, but as it is currently implemented, it is possible for the array that holds the stack, it is to be altered by code outside of this particular class. Okay, because STA you declared inside stack. Okay, so this particular class can be assessed by other particular code. Okay, the chances are that they may manipulate this STA. So this leaves our particular stack open to misuse or mischief. So how to overcome this problem, that we will see in coming classes. But as I told, this is not efficient stack operation. That's what I wanted to tell. Okay, because many loopholes are here. The chances are there this particular array can be altered by other particular code. That's what the problem here. Anyway, we'll see in coming classes how that will be dealt. Now, after learning this, now you understood how the stack operation takes place. After learning this, we'll proceed further. That is a closer look at methods and classes. Among that, the first one is overloading. Overloading. What is overloading? See, overloading means same name and parameters are different. Same name, parameters are different. See, because in a class, see, you should be very fast when you are representing the example for overloading. Okay, because I used to observe this from so many years. Student, you just write one method, M1. Okay, you write another method which takes integer a. You write one more method, M1 itself, a comma int b. That's all. Okay, whatever you write inside, that is secondary. Okay, but by observing this, okay, it is easy for the evaluator to tell that, oh, you know the answer, I will move further. See this, this is what overloading. Same method, but arguments are different. If a default method, if I am creating one object and I am invoking the M1, means this will be invoked. If I am passing one element, then this will be invoked. If I am passing two elements, this will be invoked. See, same method, but arguments are different. And a return type will not play a role, because just I'll keep the name and parameters as it is. Only return type I'll change, means it is not called as overloading. Okay, and compiler will not allow to write such particular method also. Okay, same name and parameters are different. That particular process is called overloading, method overloading. See, once again, I am referring in languages like .NET and all. We are having specific particular keyword override, overload, like that. Okay, here explicitly you are observing that the method name is same, arguments are different, and this is nothing but polymorphism. You know the definition of polymorphism: one interface, many methods. One interface, many method. Okay, one interface means what? See, it is not necessary to remember three names, is it not? Oh, default argument means M1. If one integer I have to pass, means it is something M underscore 1. If two arguments I am passing, means M underscore underscore 1. Like that, it is not necessary to remember. You just remember only M1. One interface, many methods. Default means it will go there, one means like that. Okay, so that's what one property of polymorphism. So overloading is polymorphism. See, without overloading means how to write, with overloading means how to write. See this, if you are a C programmer, no overloading, then what you have to do? See, I wanted to get the information like a. Okay, 5 plus 3 I wanted to pass. So what I'll do, I'll pass one method. This operation I wanted to do, what I'll do is I'll call the particular method add 2 by passing 5 comma 3. So it will go here and you'll get the result. Now I wanted to add 5 comma 3 comma 4. Then what to do? Add 3, like that I have to write. See, which will call this method, add 3 method. Like that 4 elements I wanted to pass, then add 4. See, I have to remember, 2 elements means it is add 2, 3 elements means add 3, 4 elements means add 4. All this you have to remember. But see, the languages which are having method overloading, see, add, add. Don't worry. If you add, you call add itself. If you pass 2 elements, it will invoke this method. If you pass 2 comma 3 comma 4, it will take this method. If you pass 4, it will take this method. The name is common. Okay, so that is what actually overloading. So overloading is very important property of any object oriented programming. One interface, many methods. Always you have to learn how to represent the example for that. Okay, because anyway, in any particular example, when you are writing, you should be very careful. Don't worry much, like this example, class A. Okay, one default constructor you write, and after that you write one particular method which takes one argument. Okay, and write some particular operation. Mm, you just print that itself. I'll take that example itself and see default method and without default with one argument. Is it not? So that's what here we written, and you can write a ob is equal to new, and after that if you pass a, here return type I have written. Okay, so it is not called as a constructor. Okay, anyway, no confusion, like just I'll write m1 itself. Okay, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಡೌಟ್ ಬರೋದು ಬೇಡ. Just look at this default method. Okay. The same method name, just argument I am passing. ಇದೇ ತರನೇ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೀವು ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಓವರ್ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್. In next overriding also we are discussing after discussing inheritance. Okay, so keep watching. There you'll come to know about overriding. But for time being, you just learn overloading. See? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಏನ್ task, that is not important. Okay, here just to represent how this particular logic is represented. That's what important. So you have to write in the example like how this particular operation is performed. See, default method, one argument, two argument, all are with the same name. When you are invoking this method, it will call this. When you are invoking only one parameter, it will invoke. When nothing you are passing, which method it will invoke. Okay, so that's what important here. Nodi, everything I written in the same class A, where I written 3 methods, and there itself I written one public static void main. In this method I am creating the object of type A and I am calling. Okay, always make life simple, and when you are representing the example also should be very simple. Okay, so if you execute this code, this is what you will get. Is it not? What is the error? Error is, anyway, error is of some program. See, open aguta 4, open aguta 32, and after that lockdown. Why it is coming? Because just in the default I am not passing any value. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಬಂತು. After that I passed one argument, and after that I passed two arguments. and what is inside the main, that output. That's what you are getting. So this is about how the method you can overload. Okay, very important property of Java. And in the next class, we'll see what is overloading with respect to constructors. Okay, that we'll discuss in next class. Thank you. Have a good day.